we got to get into Matt Rife because we've been teasing this special. We played and we were all giddy to make fun of this poor bastard. Nay, my friends.
Nope.
I don't think we're going to be doing it. Or are we? I don't know. I don't know how to feel because I've been getting roped into these things where I think I get too close to situations. This is what happened with Stuttering John and this goddamn IQ test, where I had no interest in taking the fucking thing. And then he kept needling me about it. And finally I said, all right, I'm taking it. And then he's like, all right, you do all the work. And I was like, you son of a bitch, you got me.
That's right.
With Matt Rife, I got all hyped up. I said, this is going to be terrible. It's going to be abysmal. He just released a special 6 months ago, and all of a sudden has new material? This is going to be so much worse than the last one.
I was waiting for it to be awful.
I watch it. It was fine.
It was fine.
In fact, I made this noise a couple of times.
I did the same thing, and I felt guilty. But I did it a few times.
I wasn't rolling on the floor, but I gave a couple. That's not, that's clever. It took me by surprise. Wasn't expecting that.
Like, if for his YouTube specials, if the lady brings you to the show and you see that, you're gonna be like, man, that's kind of like a waste of the night. But if we went and saw this Netflix material, I've been like, that wasn't so bad.
It was fine. Yeah, it was whatever. And here's the thing. If that special was the material that was out there, I'd be like, whatever. I don't get it, but maybe it's for the girls,
Mm-hmm.
It was just all his other stuff was so empty. And this is what I talked about with Matt Rife, is he's 28 years old. He has plenty of time to grow as a comic. I just don't understand how he's selling out arenas at $800 a ticket. That's what mystified me, because it all seems so generic. But here's the rub, Craig. I don't know if you know this yet.
Yep.
Matt Rife fans are turning on him.
I didn't know that.
If you go on TikTok, every fucking comment is, hey, it seems like this guy can only do crowd work, and this all sucks.
And he brought that up at the end, which I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay. Here's where we get into the, maybe there's something to make fun of with this special.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't play anything, right? Netflix sodomizes your mother if you play their content.
Yeah, and I like my mom very much, so I don't want to do that to her.
Yeah. Craig says if you change your policy to, people of the opposite age, he'll be with you. He'll film.
I don't think I ever said that.
So we get to the end. And like I said, it was fine. It was whatever. I'd even call it solid for a 28-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the end, and he gets into this speech about the haters. And literally saying that all the people that criticize people online deserve to die, which I felt a little attacked in that moment.
I kind of enjoyed it, though. I kind of didn't hate it.
I didn't love it, but it was okay, whatever. Like, I'm sure he gets a lot of shit. If he wants to address it, that's great.
Right. That's kind of the angle I was looking at it as.
Sure, whatever. Here's the moment that I truly hated.
Okay.
Is when he gets to the end of this speech, which there are really virtually no jokes. It's a serious kind of Carlos Mencia type closer.
Yep.
And then he ends with, but what do I know? I just do crowd work, right?
Yeah.
Drops the mic and walks off stage to a standing ovation as if comedy just changed.
So I have a take on this as well.
Okay.
I was like, oh, don't do that. Then he's like, I don't do crowd work. And then he puts a montage of him doing crowd work.
That was a little weird too, where it seemed like by the end, it didn't dawn on me that he wasn't doing crowd work, because my issue with the last special wasn't his crowd work. It was that the material was so empty. Literally, he opens with like, gay dudes stay in the gym and they like fashion.
Yep.
So it's the emptiest like 90s material you can imagine. So that's what I was more focused on. It's like, oh, he's being more personal and actually telling stories from his life. He's growing as a comic. It didn't even dawn on me that he wasn't doing crowd work. And then he kind of reveals at the end, like, well, I showed you. But I really hate that, where like Carlos Mencia ended his special with like, hey man, like if we all just got along And he gives this speech, and I forget what the exact line is, but he's like, "And here's the thing," and then he walks off stage without answering. And then you're like, you at home are supposed to be like, "What did he mean, man?" That's deep. So his message to the haters, like, "But what do I know? I just do crowd work." That's what you would think, like Dave Chappelle, after he just changed minds, could end a special with, maybe.
Yeah, and his crowd work in the last one was like he walks on stage and he goes, "All right, let me look at you," and he looks at the gayest looking guy I've ever seen. He goes, "Let me guess, gay," and
Right.
the place explodes.
They go nuts. But what I'm saying with this ending, where he's like, "But what do I know?"
Mhm.
You would think it was this long philosophical hour where he's, talking about politics and humanity and social change. Nah, he talked about ghost hunting and his dad.
I was gonna say though, after we talked about him being on Rogan, you were like, he should talk about that on stage.
Yeah, he listened. He
And
listened to me.
and he did.
2 weeks ago, he decided, you know what? I'm gonna put this in my special. Thank you, Mike.
I don't know why I did that. I made that noise, noise that we were talking about when he said dead American kids and made it sound like this school sucks. I don't know why, but that one got me. I thought that was kind of
There were a couple jokes that were okay. I will say it bothered me that there wasn't a disclaimer. I didn't know if I was about to be offended.
That's true.
And that was jarring to me because I was like, "Oh, what do I expect here?"
That's true. School shootings are no joke.
So that was a little rough. But yeah, overall, but that's the interesting thing about this is I was like, not so bad. I'm like, all right, TikTok, move over, make room for Mikey. He's coming into the Matt Rife fan club. And everyone on TikTok is like, "Fuck this guy." I'm like, huh? What?
He's still selling out. Didn't he just film where Chris Rock filmed Bigger and Blacker?
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be fine. But I just thought it was funny that I saw a lot of reactions like, maybe this guy only does crowd work well.
So I don't know if we are too close to this because everyone that like responded when I tweeted out that I was watching it and everyone was like, "No, it stinks. I had to shut it off. This guy's trash."
I got the opposite. I got people being like, "It wasn't bad."
Maybe we do have to do the watch along and just get the live
just to decide whether or not it's good.
Yeah, like Carl will keep us honest, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Carl will go in. Carl will hate it. That's the thing, is I don't think Carl will admit if he likes it. You know? Like that's his whole shtick, this guy with his wacky podcast. Hating the truth is he subscribes to half those podcasts that he talks about. He actually is a fan. But he knows the business, you know?
That's right. That's right. I mean, I want to know what Carl thinks, and I want to know what the live chat thinks in the moment.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's a thing I've heard Joe List talk a lot about this, where like he'll go to see a movie and you're just in the right mood for whatever reason.
Correct.
And you leave the theater and you're like, "This was the greatest movie ever."
Many Saints of Newark, me and you were blowing the shit out of that movie.
Yeah, it could just. I think because I was in a mindset where I knew we were going to talk about it right after.
Yeah.
And like I just liked some of the soprano-y things about it. I was like, "Hey, that's Syl." That like when we got on, I was like, "It was great." And then the more people pointed out how terrible it was, I was like, that's a good point.
Because I think we were in I think KMS did a Sacco show. Like
I think it was the next night.
Yeah, and I remember we saw Clemmer and he broke it down, and I went, "Oh god damn, you're right."
Just everyone, the points that everyone made, there's nothing I refuted. I was like, "Yeah, you are right."
Yeah, you are 1,000% correct. I am wrong. I am sorry. Because you know what it was? I didn't even like notice it in the moment, but when Uncle June goes, "Your mother's cunt," twice in the movie.
That's actually the only thing I did hate watching it. Even
yeah, I know, but like the whole movie was like that. The only thing I really
that we just missed how often they were doing that. Yeah,
correct. But the only thing I liked was Gandolfini's kid. I thought that was like a cool twist.
That was part of it too. Is I was like, "Hey, look, he looks like Tone," you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah. Maybe we got swept up in the Matt Rife hype. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about anything anymore. So you guys let me know how I should feel, and then I'll change my opinion accordingly.
Yeah.
But a special, I do think I have solid opinions on. I haven't even watched yet. I've just seen the clips.
I haven't seen. I thought you watched. I was ready to hear all about it.
Well, here's the thing: is I don't want to give Chris D'Elia money, especially when I know that once he's done bilking these people, he's going to put it on YouTube for free.
He's going to go
in 3 months,
and he's going to go back to like talking to women of young women again, I believe.
Right, and that's when Craig will be back on board. But my point is, so Chris D'Elia has released a few clips from this special. Some of them we saw snippets of in the trailer, but we get a little more in depth. We get the full, the full context for some of these lines we saw in the trailer, and boy, it seems brutal.
It doesn't seem great. You want the crying one first?
Yeah, sure. So I mentioned this, I think, last week.
Correct.
Where Chris D'Elia talks about, like, hey, he had a son right before all this controversy went down in 2020. For those of you that don't know, a litany of women came forward and said that Chris was grooming them or talking to them when they were underage. And I said, hey, there's no proof here. And then 8 months later, he made an apology where he's like, I apologize for cheating on my wife. And I said, something's not adding up here. Maybe this guy's guilty of something.
I think you missed part of the problem there, Chris.
And then the Chris D'Elia problem came out that really exposed some of the ugly truth. Or, who knows? Maybe it's half-truths. I don't know what's in that documentary, but it all seemed pretty solid, and Chris has never acknowledged its existence. So
you don't make that face when you find out people can record Snapchats unless you're guilty as hell.
Well, not even that. Here's my thing, is Chris in his apology didn't acknowledge anything he was accused of. Then when the documentary came out, suspiciously went to rehab, but didn't acknowledge the documentary's existence. Also hasn't acknowledged, like, he does a podcast, he does multiple podcasts with multiple different people every single week.
Yep.
And never acknowledged that there was a Rolling Stone article saying that the FBI was investigating him. So, and he doesn't address that. Why? If you're a completely innocent man, as you portrayed in this special.
Let's also not forget, when he went away for rehab, he didn't do his podcast forever. And the first one we came back was with his wife, and they're like, oh my God, the holidays are so great.
Yeah. So what I think these clips prove is a lot of people wanted Louis C.K. to talk more or talk in a different way about his controversy. And I think these clips show why Louis, a mind like Louis, said that's probably not a good idea because I could look like a real asshole. And Chris D'Elia went out of his way to prove that in this new special.
And Louis,
what do we know what it's called? Chris D'Elia's special?
Oh shit, I do. Hold on. But Louis did it in the funniest way possible. He just had a giant "I'm sorry" thing in the background, which is very funny.
Yeah, well, even in the first one where he does address it, like, he did it in a way that was funny first. He didn't make a serious thing. Whereas the vibe I get in these clips, this seemed more like a rally of angry men that are like, fuck these bitches, Chris, we got your back.
It's called Grow or Die.
Grow or Die, that's right. He's done so much growing in the last 3 years.
Right.
So yeah, let's play some of Grow or Die from Chris D'Elia.
Single day. My son has cried every single day for 3 years. Every day. For 3 years of his life. Every single day for 3 years. My son has cried. And it's crazy because over the last 3 years, I've cried every single day. Okay? And yeah.
Now, why is that, Chris? Can I ask what happened 3 years ago that made you do that?
He feels bad about what he's done, so he's crying because he feels shame.
Was it that people came after you for a joke, like you tweeted something, or they dug up old material and took it out of context? Or was that you have been multiple times accused of rape?
Or grooming at best?
Well, no, because that's, again, the thing is that I said it first. In that Rolling Stone article, and I believe it's in the documentary as well, one of the girls says, and this is an accusation, maybe it's false, if you want to say that the accusations are false, okay. But one of the accusations that Chris has never addressed is that a girl was crying as he shoved her dick in his face, and he said, do what I say, and everything will be all right.
That's right.
To me, and who am I? I'm not the authority on sexual assault. To me, that sounds like good old-fashioned, honest-to-goodness rape.
It's the letter.
But
of the
I'm
law.
just one man. I'm not a judge nor a member of a jury.
Yeah. Let's continue. He's about to tell us why, I think, or tell us what he wants.
Yeah, for different reasons, you know. He's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, I want my fucking career back, asshole.
Asshole. Asshole. You see how adult he talks to children? It's interesting.
Him and his son are just best friends because they're the same age. Mentally.
Asshole.
Your life is chill. You don't even wear pants half the time.
I used to be like that around young women.
It's in a Triceratops shirt. That's your outfit. That's a chill outfit.
Okay, so as you see, there's not a punchline really. It's just a clip of him going, I want to be accepted again. Will you guys accept me, please? Can I go back on Joe Rogan and be back on NBC? Like, can I have these things back, please?
So we have 3 clips from this special here.
Yes.
This next one is probably my favorite one.
Oh.
It's where he compares what he did to murder, which is very fun.
Well, it's interesting because yes, again, like I'm trying to think of a person that's been, canceled for their words. But Shane Gillis, let's say. It's the first one that comes to mind. Shane Gillis was put in an article, and I believe the 3 people they used in the picture were, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and Shane Gillis.
Yep. Or I think
maybe Cosby.
Cosby was in there too.
Yeah, maybe. It was like, these are the men that Shane Gillis was put. If Shane Gillis said like, hey, I didn't fucking murder anybody. I made a joke. I made a silly joke and used a racial slur on a podcast. That doesn't, to me, that doesn't seem equivalent to murder. I got your back, buddy. I agree. We'll see you February 23rd.
Oh, did you get tickets?
What's that?
Did you get tickets? Because I know they were. Ooh,
I did. We'll see. We'll see if we can meet the young bull that weekend. But if you want to say like, hey, people are acting like I murdered somebody. Now, what Chris is being accused of, in many people's eyes, is like right below murder.
Honestly, in jail, it's treated way worse.
Some people say worse.
Yeah.
Because you have to live with that pain. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it's an argument at least.
Not only is it rape, but you're also fucking with kids. And that's a double whammy that people in jail just don't appreciate.
That's what all Craig's neighbors say every single school day. Hey,
neighborhood watch, man. I'm protecting these people.
So yeah, let's see Chris's false equivalency bit.
We watch a bunch of Netflix, and then we stop watching Netflix the day Netflix come out of a bunch of shit. Listen, it was a woke move, but it was a business move, and for that, I understand. But let me just tell you one thing about it, all right? Let me tell you, one of the things that Netflix cut me out of was an episode of a TV series, and another person in another episode of that same TV series was Caitlyn Jenner. Now listen, all right?
I assume he's talking about Bert Kreischer's show, The Cabin. That's the only one I could think of.
Oh, that's right.
That they would both be on.
That's right.
Right.
I need to see his episode of The Cabin now.
Now, let's see here. Because if he's saying Caitlyn Jenner shouldn't be, it'd be great if he was like, and Netflix left this trans person in, just besmirching God. Let's see his point here. He doesn't like that Caitlyn Jenner is in this show.
Yeah, this one's blatant.
If you know this, but Caitlyn Jenner fucking killed someone, okay? She killed someone. Google it. She killed someone! And she's in the thing, and I'm not in the thing! Dude, she killed someone. She ran a dude over. That guy... we do Why You Laughing, and a motto of mine is, who needs punchlines? Why not just yell facts?
Yeah, exactly.
In different tones of voice and different cadences. He killed someone! He killed someone! I like the second he killed someone the best. That was my favorite. He killed or she killed someone, whatever.
The election was rigged. The election was rigged.
Hey, actually, go back a little bit. Is he saying he?
That's a great point. I didn't catch that. Let's
check. Cancel this motherfucker all over again.
We really should.
Was Caitlyn Jenner. Now listen, all right? I don't know if you know this, but Caitlyn Jenner fucking killed someone. Okay, she killed someone.
Oh no, okay, all right.
She killed someone.
Hey, at least he uses the right pronouns.
Yeah,
You got to give him that.
He's he's walking on eggshells there.
Okay.
And she's in the thing, and I'm not in the thing. Dude, she killed someone. She ran a dude over. That guy died. He's still dead. His family's sad.
That's the big laugh of this, I guess. He's still dead.
He's still dead. Get it, guys? Because he didn't come back to life.
He didn't come back to life. What a card this guy is.
Remind the family too.
And she's in the thing, and I'm not in the thing. Listen, we all make mistakes, but
His inflections piss me off so much.
Well, there's not a punchline here. The joke is the inflection. If you read this, they would just be statements. And hey, maybe that's part of comedy is your delivery and everything. But his is terrible. So that's
awful.
That's where he loses me.
Yours was murder.
And Chris, yours was rape.
Rape, grooming.
That's what you're not. Okay, say her.
Pedophilia? You ever heard of it?
Also, she wasn't accused of murder. It was manslaughter. Caitlyn Jenner didn't pull a gun on someone. It was vehicular manslaughter, which still, that's, you should pay the penalty and all of that, but you should be put in front of a jury of your peers. So I understand his overall point, but I don't think it was murder. It was not premeditated.
He got his facts from probably that South Park episode.
So here's the thing, Chris. Again, you can say, like, hey, they didn't take the murderer out, but what they did do on Netflix is take the accused sexual assaulter out.
Yep.
Who in many cases was playing a rapist on some of these shows.
And also, Caitlyn Jenner was like, yeah, I did that. I feel horrible. It was an accident.
That's what you got to do. Now, Caitlyn Jenner can be on any stage, and I'm not going to make fun of her because she says, hey, oops-a-daisies,
I own it.
We all make mistakes. Chris was like, guys, son of a gun, you got me. I've cheated on my wife. And boy, am I busted up about it. Now, I'm going to continue doing it. I'm going to post selfie videos of me and the wife and the kid and talk about what a great dad I am, while I'm also sending pictures of my cock to 16-year-olds. But hey, who among us, glass houses, folks.
If I get them a computer, they'll have sex with me in 2 years.
So again, we have two clips. The first one, I guess the punchline was like, I want my career back, asshole. Yeah. And this one was, the punchline is, hers was murder. Mm-hmm. But what makes it funny is he goes, but hers was murder.
And
it's like if you put Chris D'Elia and Sam Kinison next to, like, their acts next to each other, and it was like one of these guys suffered brain damage when they were a kid.
Yep.
There's no way you're assuming it's Sam Kinison.
Nope.
Like, Chris D'Elia seems like he's had traumatic head injuries by the way he talks and delivers jokes.
And gets tattooed. He gets the worst tattoos I've ever seen.
Well, hey, the guy gets plenty of puss. You should be admiring that. Maybe you think about getting tatted up.
Nope. I'm big fear of needles. I hate needles.
Like my neck tattoo. My mom didn't want me to do it, but what do I care?
What do I care? I have cookies for dinner. This last clip is him talking about the critics.
Oh yeah, well, this is pointed at us. I assume we've been critical of the man. A lot of other people have, so it's good to finally snap back at the critics. Much like Bill Cosby, again. By the way, it's good to finally the people that have called you out for rape. It's time to finally clap back at these naughty boys and girls.
People are always going to be mad. And I see that shit. Man, I see it. I had to stop looking online, but I see it. Like there's a guy who wrote an article the other day, and dude, he goes like this. It was like, Chris Lee is back. Does anyone give a shit? Dude, and my favorite article was like
funnier than anything we've played in these clips. The headline, Chris Lee is back. Does anyone give a shit?
It's very funny.
That's way better than any joke Chris has told about his horrible situation so far.
Are you serious? Are we gonna just let Chris D'Elia back? Seems like, dude, he says, seems like a layup for comedy clubs not to book Chris D'Elia. My favorite. Hey,
what a nerd, right? What a dork this guy is, saying like, hey, we probably shouldn't let the rapist back.
Probably like one of his like cousins or some shit too.
What a fucking nerd, a dweeb who's saying like, hey, Chris D'Elia was soliciting young girls into his dressing room, plying them with wine and fucking raping them. Maybe comedy clubs should frown upon that. What a fucking four eyes this guy is.
This guy who doesn't drink and is very against it just force feeds them booze.
Nothing weird about that at all. That we should definitely condone at a comedy club.
It was like this. We got to keep comedy clubs safe from Chris D'Elia. Like, dude, what are you talking about?
Oh, hold on. Let me fill in the blanks for you, Chris. You don't know what he's talking. He's saying we should keep comedy clubs safe from the rapist. Is that a better way to say it? I'm sorry. He said, hey, let's keep the rape. And listen, I know we used to talk about it a lot on this show. America is plagued with wokeness.
Right.
It's enough of the PC police have run amok for far too long. But one place I'm okay with them stepping in is saying, like, hey, let's keep the rape out of comedy.
You know how bad the allegations have to be for this show to not defend you at all?
Exactly. That's kind of my thing.
We had his back for I think a week.
Well, so before I started this show, the summer of 2020, I was like, I don't get it, because a lot of the allegations were from women in their 20s, and it seemed like they were messaging with him back and forth.
Yeah.
And it was kind of in a friendly manner. And there were some examples, and Chris posted these, and later we found out they were edited. But actually, no, you know what? To be fair, some of the conversations on the other side were edited and photoshopped as well.
We got him back already. We're on our way.
but a lot of the accusations were that these girls said, hey, I'm 16. Chris didn't message them, and then 2 years later was found talking to them again. And I was like, well, if they're 18, he's a creep, but who really cares? Then the apology changed my mind on everything, because I was like, okay, this guy's hiding something.
Yep.
And then the Chris D'Elia problem by Kyle Anderson. Go check out the documentary, folks. That's where I was like, oh, okay, he's being accused of rape, actual rape.
These aren't fake.
And he's not acknowledged. Well, but again, the thing, if the accusations are fake, if you want to tell me that, okay, I'm willing to listen. Chris hasn't said that. He said nothing about it.
Avoiding the topic altogether.
Yeah, which is a little suspicious.
So if you look at someone like Portnoy, I completely believe that he's getting railroaded, because he immediately does a way too long PowerPoint presentation of all
Lenny Bruce court transcript type.
and as I'm watching it, I'm like, all right, dude, wrap it up. I was like, well, if I was in his shoes, I'd be doing the exact same thing.
Right. D'Elia has acted like, hey, these woke bullies are mad that I cheated on my wife.
Right.
No one cares about that, Chris.
Nope.
You have her on your podcast, and you're an asshole to her. No one's mad about it. It's all fine.
Yeah, and then she says something that slightly annoys you, and you get pissed at her, and then you don't. And that's one of the things you don't cut out of your show. You leave that in.
Be a prick to your wife all you want. We're not mad about it. It's okay. What we're upset about, and what the author of this article is probably hinting at, is that comedy club owners try and keep the rape out of comedy clubs. Yeah, the rape, the true rape. And again, I defended Louis C.K. It's it seemed like those encounters were consensual, and then the women felt weird about it later. That's I think a different story. In the case, if you want to make the case of the workplace one, I'll have a conversation with you. But no accusation is that he was a rapist. And that's where I got annoyed. It's the coverage was calling him a rapist when it just wasn't true.
And the crazy thing is about D'Elia is Cosby had more defenders than him.
Yeah, no one has really defended Chris D'Elia. No one thinks he's innocent.
There's two people that have kind of, by not condemning him, and that's Callen and Schaub.
We need to ask Judge Joe Brown what he thinks of all this.
Even Theo Vaughn was like, I'm
out of here. Yeah. All right, sorry. Let's hear him pound this dork for writing this silly article.
Dude, what are you talking about? I'm not Voldemort. You know what I mean? I'm just a guy. And
you're more like Harvey Weinstein.
You're like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, Jerry Sandusky. Any of Craig's heroes.
Okay.
Grow or die.
That was it?
That was it.
Again, where are the punchlines, Chris? This is a comedy special or a rally?
Is he just trying to show that he talks about it?
I guess that's the salacious part. Like, hey guys, I'm gonna address it.
It's gonna come up, so buy it.
Ooh.
How much
exciting.
was the special? Do you know? I didn't look.
$12 or something like that.
I'll find it.
Probably worth us doing a watch along. But again, I think he's gonna release it for free in like 3 months once he gets money from everybody.
Yeah,
You know,
that will. He definitely won't have the technology to black out the screen if I'm trying to cast it, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, damn straight. You can't get around Craig.
No. Unless you're on Netflix, then you can get around pretty easy.
Right. All right. So yeah, that's go watch Chris D'Elia's White Power rally where he's been canceled. He's the victim. People that like lost their jobs because they posted "Vote Trump" on Facebook, and Chris D'Elia, same boat. It's the exact same thing.
Same exact boat.
Yeah. We've all had documentaries made about us where there's a litany of allegations. That's just cancel culture. It's one of these namby-pamby liberals with an axe to grind.